Hi, everybody. This is Lisa Robinson here with Lisa Marie Accounting, and we are doing Sass It Up Live. And I know it's been a while, but I'm glad we're back. I have a special guest, and I can't wait to introduce her. If you don't know me, again, my name is Lisa. I'm the owner of Lisa Marie Accounting, and I'm a profitability coach. Basically, what I do is I help women entrepreneurs who are online manage their business money better so that they have sassy and sexy money and they know what's going on with it and they can be profitable. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce Jena Proctor. She's my guest and she's a Pinterest strategist. And we're of course going to be talking about Pinterest. So Jena, will you please tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us what your why is?
Absolutely. So like Lisa said, I am a Pinterest strategist and I work with female entrepreneurs who are ready to escape that social media rat race and increase their brand visibility and website traffic without costly ads. So I help you do that using Pinterest. And so I really just love to, I somehow end up working mostly with moms. And I think it's just because we're looking for that escape. We're looking for another way to market our businesses without feeling like you have to sit and post in Facebook groups all the time and constantly create new content to put out because, as you know, it's only being seen by a percentage of the people that follow you, and it's getting buried constantly under anything from selfies to the dreaded political posts. And we need somewhere where our content will last. And so being able to help women get that and continue to grow their business without having to invest in ads and worry about ever-changing algorithms on Facebook and Instagram. It's just been really amazing to know that I'm helping these women give more back to their community and their family because they have that time again.
Mm-hmm. And so one of the things I want to ask is, and a lot of people say that Pinterest is for personal. But I've talked that Pinterest is for business. So is Pinterest for business, and how does Pinterest actually help your website traffic?
Okay, so it is a common misconception that Pinterest is only filled with fashion and recipes and things like health and beauty. But really and truly, if you start looking into it, people are on Pinterest searching for ways to make their lives easier and more enjoyable. And so that is really, it's going to have anything and everything. I work with business coaches with Pinterest. I have, myself as a Pinterest strategist on Pinterest. I know we're going to have you on Pinterest soon, Lisa. So it's really becoming a space for service-based businesses to reach people as they are searching for things like that. And so it's different because when you put your content out on Facebook, it's going to be buried and pretty much going to get engagement at the highest level within about the first 45 minutes. And it's even less on Instagram because it's very fast paced. Mm-hmm. And so with Pinterest, it is a search engine. So the best way that I can describe it is that if Google and Instagram had a baby, it would be Pinterest because you have the beautiful images that you have with the pins. So it is visually based like Instagram. But then the way that people are able to find you is very much like Google in that it's a search engine. So it's not even really a true social media platform as much as it is a search engine.
So it adds another layer.
Yes.
Which means so you're able to actually use it as a search engine along with your Instagram and your Facebook. Because I know like me, Facebook and now Instagram have become, that's where I get a lot of my clients and ideal clients, but that search engine would actually, that Pinterest would just add that other layer and drive traffic to the website.
That's right. And so the biggest piece that makes it different is when you're posting on Instagram, people have to actually go back to your profile and click the one link that you can put in your bio. Whereas with Pinterest, you can put out a link to any part of your website so that people can go back and read your blog post. They can go and learn more about you. And the whole focus is getting them off of the social media where they're going to constantly be distracted by everything else popping up and really getting them on your website where they can focus on you and what you have to offer and continue to grow that relationship most importantly, getting them on your email list, because that's where you can really nurture and turn that visibility into profits for your business.
Okay, that makes sense. And so we all, and I mean, I'm gonna be the first to agree that we all know website traffic is important. I mean, I'm one of the first ones, and it's great. That's one of the things we're doing is we're gonna be starting to blog, and we're gonna be starting to build that website traffic, thanks to my VA, because otherwise I'd never have time. But how does the Pinterest actually help you help your business get clients? How does it actually do that? How does it work?
Okay, so you're making that jump from, like I said, where when you're posting on Facebook and Instagram, they are going to consume your content, and then 95% of the time, think about your own behaviors. You're going to consume that content and go on about your way to the next post, to the next picture, to everything else that you're looking at. A message pops up and you go to that. And you maybe were interested in learning more, but something distracted you. You didn't explore it further because it's so easy to just keep scrolling and keep going. Whereas with Pinterest, they can't consume your content on that platform. They have to go to your website to read that blog post. And so you're going to be able to use that traffic to, sorry, my little one, to make sure that you are getting people on your website where you can be in control and offer them that next step of getting to know you by getting on your email list instead of just the consuming and moving on to the next thing that comes up.
So on Pinterest, there's a picture. So are you saying that there's like a link, and what happens is they click on that link, and that link takes them to the website?
Yes. So when they click on your image, it's going to take them to your website so they can then read that blog post.
Okay.
Put them in your box.
And so how is Pinterest? And I know you explained this went over it, how Pinterest is different from other social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. I know that you were saying that it's more like a search engine.
Yes.
But how do you? It's like apples and oranges, then, right? I mean, it's. Do you suggest them be able to do the Pinterest and do the Facebook and Instagram? It is another layer? Does that help build it up?
Yes, so it is going to be another layer, and most of the content that you're going to be putting out on Pinterest is going to be your blog posts. So you can take those social media posts that you're making and turn it into a blog post. What I love to do is focus on repurposing that. So if you know you have a really super valuable social media post that you've made, then take that and make it a blog post. Get as much life as you can out of what you're writing, because we're all busy. We want to make sure that people are continuing to see that value that we have to offer, because one of the best ways that I like to explain it is when you first start your journey, you're talking about certain things in your business. And sometimes as we progress, we still are doing the same thing. You're still working with women and their profitability, but you may go through cycles of what you're talking about. Well, if I need what you were talking about a couple of months ago, it's not really on your Facebook, it's been buried. Mm-hmm. I can go back and search and find what it is that I'm needing at that point in my business, and it's still going to connect us, whereas maybe you haven't talked about that in 6 months.
Right.
But that's the piece that I need, and that's how we get that connection. So it's giving your content a much longer shelf life so that you are able to make those connections with people where they are, not just with that one post that you're making that might not be relevant to me at all right now, because mm-hmm. I am in a different place in my business, whereas you're still exactly what I need. And so it's just really making sure that all the content that you are creating is giving it that extended shelf life so that the people that are searching are able to find you and still make that connection with you.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and I think this will be something that a lot of entrepreneurs especially would ask. If you're not already using Pinterest for business, how do you recommend, or what do you recommend on suggesting how do you get started? You know what I mean? What steps can they take to easily get started?
So there's some things that you need before you even worry about having a business profile on Pinterest. And so that would be that you need to make sure you have a website, because you have to have a place to direct people to. You want to make sure that you have some content that you either already have or are going to be putting out regularly. You need to be committed to that. And then the third piece is you want to make sure that you have an opt-in and things set up to capture leads, because the whole way that you make that leap from it just being another place that you're dumping content into actually growing your business is capturing that website traffic. So people come to your website, you offer them your freebie, your opt-in, and grow your email list with that traffic. Because Pinterest, the other difference is it's predominantly cold traffic, so you're not going to get a high conversion with people just clicking to your website and immediately want to buy from you or want to work with you. Usually those purchases take time, as most of us know. You usually get to know someone, you decide that you like them, that you trust them, and then you purchase. And so you can help make that conversion higher with getting them on your email list and developing that relationship.
Okay, so like what most of us do is we have an opt-in, but it's a pop-up opt-in, so it pops up. So that basically, so when they go to that website, that opt-in pops up, and 9 out of 10 times they're going to sign up for if they're interested, and then that grabs interest, and they're able to get to know you. So yeah. Okay, so say for example the businesses have that.
Yes.
How do they get started with Pinterest?
So the first thing that you're going to want to do is think about your ideal client or customer and the types of things that they're going to be searching for and the type of content you're going to be creating. And you're going to use that information to make your Pinterest boards. So you're going to start with the boards where you're going to place the content. That's going to be your content and other people's content. Mommy. It is going to be collaborative. I need you to give me just a second, okay? And so since Pinterest is a search engine, you want to make sure that you're really focusing in on keywords. That's where, again, you can go back to your ideal client and do some research and see what are they searching for, how are they searching for it, and make sure that you are getting those keywords in so that they're finding you when they're searching on Pinterest.
Right. So, but when you say the boards, are you saying like the different types of services, or just the different types of pain points for your ideal clients?
It's going to be like different categories. So for myself, I have a board on Pinterest strategy. I have a board on tips for making pins. So it's different topics that I talk about. So okay. Like create content containers for what you're going to be speaking about to teach people about your business and what it is that you do.
Right.
Okay. Topics would be your different boards that you have. And then you're going to create pin images for your content and put them on those boards. And you're also going to have repins where you're sharing other people's content that's similar. So what you want is for your Pinterest account to be that place where your ideal client can go to get the very best of that information when they are.
When you create the pin, when you create your pin image, that's where then you, in that pin image, you would include the link to your website, to that blog post, directly to that blog post to your website.
When you create the image, what you're going to want to do is have it show and tell people. So I've had a question this week in my group about businesses that aren't, highly visual. Well, our service-based businesses are not something that you would automatically think of, having a certain image. That's where you're going to depend on your branding to really tie everything together. But your pin image should show and tell pinners what they're going to get when they click through. So you're going to want to have a really clear title that's going to capture their attention and really be captivating enough to make them click through to learn more about what you have, because it's just going to be that title. And so from there, when they click, when you put your pin on Pinterest, you can either save it directly from your website and it will link back to that, or you can upload it manually and you can put in the link where you want people to go. So it's going to be as simple as clicking, and it's going to send them to your website where they can learn more about whatever it is that you're representing on this pin image.
So do you suggest most of the time the links be linked back to the website, or do they also link to Instagram or Facebook or anything like that?
I recommend that you link everything back to your website. That way you can focus on getting those leads.
Growing the email list.
Yes, you're looking at growing your email list, because Instagram is not going to help you grow your email list. That's just me pinging them around to different places where they can see you, but it's not going to be as easy for them to get in touch with you on any of the social media platforms as it is the home base of your business, which is your website. So that's why we really focus on sending them there. Okay, go practice in the hall, okay?
And so okay, so social media, like with Facebook, and again, I understand it's different, but with Facebook, like, you know, there's a suggested amount of times you should post. And just like Instagram, with Instagram, if you post too much, then people start getting mad and they unfollow you. It's, you know, so there's this little quote unquote rule. Does it, I guess with Pinterest though, the more pins you have, the better? Or is there a set that you suggest starting off with, like how often you would add new pins or stuff like that?
You're going to be pinning every day for sure. And so what I usually do is I do anywhere between 15 and 30 pins a day. And then you'll have a portion of that up to, you know, 60% of that would be your pins. And that is all dependent on, you know, your content creation schedule and, you know, how much content you're putting out. The nice thing is you can repurpose that content. So a blog post that you put out 6 months ago, we can make a new pin image for, write a new description and put it out there again and really keep driving traffic with that blog post. So you do want to keep it really active, but it's going to be a combination of your pins and other people's content to really feed into Pinterest algorithm of having that social sharing aspect.
So what you do is, so you're saying, you said what, it's 15 to 30?
Mm-hmm.
So in that 15 to 30, during that time, you're also going and looking for other people's pins that are similar to your business, and you're repinning those. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I think that gives everybody a good place to start, because I think that one of the things I found anyway is that Pinterest is a totally different beast. So because it's and it's the same with any of the social medias anyway, but Pinterest is its own separate beast, and it's totally different from like LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and those three are actually totally different from each other as well. So when you're adding on that layer, I think it's important to know how you can get started and what you can do to ease into it. And I guess my question is okay, so if someone is just starting to blog like me, and yes, there's going to be content to repurpose, I don't know, 15 to 30 pins seems very daunting per day if you don't have it. So do you suggest having like a certain amount of blog posts already done before you start actually being able to pin those 15 to 30 a day?
You really don't have to have like a bank of content out there already for your blog post, because what you have to think about is you're putting your pins in several different places. So we would put the same pin on, you're going to have a main board that's going to be, like yours would be Lisa Marie, and it would be your board with just your content. So you're going to be pinning it there. And then you would have, I mean, most of the time you have those pieces of content that will fit into several different categories.
Okay.
And you want to pin that one blog post, and it may be that it fits into your main board and, you know, 2 other boards. And so that's going to be 3 places that you're putting that one pin just on your account. Then when you really get going with it and you find some group boards that you can collaboratively share content, you're going to put your content there and then repin other people's content, and they're going to do the same. It's going to increase your visibility really quickly, and that's also going to be, you know, if you have 2 group boards, then that's 5 places, that's 5 slots that you're going to have your one blog post going. So it adds up really quickly when you start looking at all those different pieces that go into the whole strategy.
So when you're saying 15 to 30 pins, you're not actually talking about different ones, you're talking about it being pinned in different places.
Yeah. So your one pin could go into several different places depending on where it's appropriate for, and if you are using group boards as a strategy. Then the rest of that, and you could even, I mean, even if you do 10 or 15, so you do 2 or 3 of your own, and you're keeping it active with other people's content as well. That's really going to get that the big thing right now is everyone's looking at monthly viewers. Like I have a client who just got over, 1.5 million monthly viewers. And that's really exciting. And that's a combination of her content and the things that she's repinning onto her account. And so it's going to help increase your visibility. Like with that, now she has, really big monthly viewers, but, we also have to look at, is this helping you get people to your website as well?
Is it driving traffic to the website, and are those viewers actually going and signing up on the
start to increasing your visibility, which will then lead to the website traffic that you're looking for,
right,
into leads for your business.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask the question, and I'm pretty sure some people would have it. What exactly do you mean by group boards?
Okay. So a group board is a board where you and I could be on the same group board, and we would both add our content to that board. And you would find content of mine that would be appropriate if you had like a social media tips board, just for instance. Then you could share some of my content. And then if I have a business finance board, then I would share your pins I would pin them onto my board. And so we would each get a bigger circle of influence because of sharing each other's content. And when you have, 20, 30, however many people doing that, you can see how it goes from your number of followers to all the people on that group board seeing your content. And then as they repin it, it's going to spread it across Pinterest really rapidly and really boost your visibility and have more people seeing your pins than just relying on the search engine piece. So that's, again, it's another layer of really quickly increasing your visibility on Pinterest.
So do you search for group boards basically the same way you would search for groups in Facebook? You just go and search for a different type of group board in Pinterest, or how do you find groups? Because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know group boards existed.
It is something that it's not as popular as it used to be, because there is the app. It's an app, and I use it on the laptop for all of my clients, but where you can go in and schedule all of the content to go out on Pinterest. So it's a Pinterest scheduler. Mm-hmm. They have their own version of group boards, and it's the Tailwind Tribes. It works exactly the same way, but within that application, you can go in and search and then find those boards that you can join, and it's going to be the same social sharing. As far as the group boards, what my main strategy is look at those influencers in your niche. Who do you admire? Who do you follow? And see, are they pinning on group boards? And go and check it out, because it's similar to you, but it's not going to really impact you negatively, because, and like myself, Melissa Griffin was huge with Pinterest when I first got started, but I'm nowhere near that level. So that's why you look at influencers that you're striving to be like them, and see how they're doing it. And there's never anything wrong with doing that research and seeing how other people are doing things well. I do that with every single one of my clients. I ask them for a list of influencers in their niche, and go and see how they're doing it, where they're pinning things, and then start looking from there. You also can ask, if you are in some of these really large Facebook groups, say, hey, I'm looking for some really good group boards. People will create their own. So they may have one that they are in charge of that they would love to have you participate in, or they may just know that they have several that would be a good place for your content as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's awesome. I think that's a lot of information, and you've answered a lot of questions. And one, it seems if you do it the right way, it seems a lot easier to go in and to add, to be able to shift it. I know for me, I think a lot of boards would have to disappear.
It's really great because you can go in there and just make them secret. And so when you're getting your account super focused for your business, you can just make them secret. That way you have all of your recipes and, whatever it is that you've had on there for your personal account, but it won't be visible to people that you're trying to promote your business.
Right. And I think that's important for people to see, that you don't have to start completely over, that you can actually, if you're at a certain point, or if you're wanting to get to that point, what you can do. So the last thing is I want to do is, I wanted to ask if, and I think you said you did, that you had a of a freebie or an opt-in that people can get some more information. If you could tell us about that, and then after the live, if you'll put the link in the comments, and then, you know, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, during the replay, if you have any questions, please make sure you put them in the comments and just tag us, and then we'll make sure that we answer them for you. But can you tell us about the opt-in, what it is that you're gonna give to our guests?
Yes, so what I have is, it is a free guide, and so it's going to be a downloadable PDF, and it's 5 days to a Pinterest account that works. And so it's going to take you through a lot of stuff that we talked about today. It's going to give you a lot more details about all of that. So it's going to cover everything about how to set up your account so that you can increase your profits and decrease the time that you're spending online. It's going to teach you how to use keywords so that you know that your ideal client is able to find you when they're searching and they're finding what you have to offer and seeing you as the solution to the problem that they have, or that you will make their lives easier and more enjoyable. It is going to help you quickly increase your visibility and drive more traffic to your website. And it even covers how to create those pin images that are really going to draw people into you when they have done their search and you're showing up. It's going to really help you stand out, and even go through a little bit of the automation using Tailwind like I was talking about earlier. So it really covers pretty much everything that you need to get started with Pinterest.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope everybody that's watching, whether live or in the replay, gets a lot of information. I think it's really important. I mean, my business coach always talks about adding layers and making sure you have those different layers. And I think it's really important, especially with Facebook ever changing, that we are driving more traffic to our email list and growing that email list, because then again, that's what we own, is the email list, and able to grow our business, not just depending on Facebook or Instagram, but actually growing it in other ways. I think that's really important, because again, we added a layer, we added Instagram, and now we're going to be adding another layer, which is blogging. And yeah, there's way too many layers. And eventually we're going to be adding Pinterest. So and Kim says, so helpful. Thank you. Awesome, Kim. So I think I found it very helpful. And so hopefully everyone else will. I thank you very much for joining us. I know that you have a busy morning because you have a little one. Trust me, all of us have them, so we understand. And if you'll post the link in the comments after the live, that way, if everyone, whoever's interested, can get on it and get that awesome information. The fact that she goes even in more detail than what we did today, that's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. I know I'm going to be getting it because if it'll help us get it set up and get started, I think that's really good. And so again, if y'all have any questions, please make sure that you put them in the comments. Even during the replay, and just tag us and we'll make sure that we answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much, Jena. I appreciate you being here and taking time out of your morning. And I look forward to us doing it again. So, all right, everybody, until the next one, which is in a couple of weeks, I will see y'all then. Bye.